Okay, battery died. Just jumped from 40% to 0, so that's good news. So this has been sitting for 5 years. All the tires are just about gone on it, sunk down pretty good. I know there was an issue with the fuel system on this. I don't know if it was the fuel pump's messed up or if something's just got it stopped up. So the plan is, if I get it turned over, we're going to use like a boat tank with some diesel in it to feed this thing enough to get it moved. And if that works out pretty well, then we'll just strap the boat tank to the top of it here and run it as the tank, because replacing a tank on this is probably near impossible for us, but we'll figure that out as we get to it. So we're going to start by getting this motor to turn over. So I'll set you guys up and check in with you at every little update. Alright, so we've got the starter here. What I'm going to do is try to jump the starter just from this battery here and see if we can't get some movement out of it. And we'll start kind of troubleshooting backwards from there to see why the key is not activating the starter. So this thing's been sitting for so long, it's probably, you know, a mouse has probably gotten in here and wreaked havoc on this thing. Or it could be simple fuse being blown to shut me down. But there's just so many possibilities. We're just going to try to work backwards from the good, work our way back to the bad. So let's see what we can do here. Now, let's hook my negative up. Let's find a good place to hook the negative to the frame. I don't know, maybe here? No. Try to find a bolt that's not all rusted. Yeah, we'll try this. That should work for now. Hook up to the positive. Alright. And nothing. So nothing there. Alright, let's feel on the back. Got some wires coming off here. Got some booties. Alright folks, we're picking up back here on the Bobcat that hasn't been started in 5 years. We've got it moved from up there. We ended up dragging it through the yard with the other Bobcat and another piece of equipment. You see how we left some nice tracks through here. So where I left off, we haven't done much else. I ended up ordering a new starter for it because we found out the starter was bad. The solenoid was engaging, but it wasn't spinning over. My guess, the brushes inside worn out, not spinning. So over here, we got the new starter. It's identical to the one, except for the brand. We got this one off of Amazon, a lot cheaper than you could get one off of Bobcat. I think Bobcat wanted like $400 for this, and this was $130 off of Amazon. So we'll see if it'll do the job, but I think it's going to do the job. I've already got it nice and greasy where I was handling it. So let's just take a quick walk around the Bobcat. Say we do get it working, what else it's going to need once it starts firing. So it was parked because you could run it for 30 minutes and then it would bog down to the point it would shut off. Now, doing a little bit of research on these same models, the fuel pickup on the inside, it just kind of collapses on itself, and then it'll let loose once the pressure releases, but it'll choke itself out. And you could actually see it whenever you open the back. This ball right here will be completely squeezed on its own. So once that's out, that fuel pickup is kind of released. So the fuel pickups on these are notoriously bad. So our idea to get this better, we're gonna mount an external tank kind of up here out of the way so it can still breathe. But we're gonna get it up out of the way and just kind of intercept this line right here to go straight into the fuel pump. So hopefully once we get everything working, we'll get that addressed, and that should fix the sluggish problem with it. Then we've got this tire here is shot. It's completely dry rotted off the rim, and even the rim's bent. But we've got an identical tire to this. This is a solid rubber tire, never go flat. We've got one there, and then we've got one here, and then another one here. So we're gonna go ahead and replace all the bad tires and get them on there. But these tires weigh about 250 pounds a piece, so it's gonna take 2 people to get it, and then a machine to lift up the back end to get these tires on. So it's not a small undertaking to get it done, but we'll get it done and hopefully bring you guys along with us. So let's get started here, putting this starter on, and we'll check back in with you. All right, so the new starter's installed. The wiring's not exactly where it needs to be put, and that's not all the way tight. But for testing purposes, before I get everything locked down, I'm gonna go ahead and test this thing, see if we can get it to fire over. I've got Wyatt in the cab up there.
Ready?
Not yet. Let me connect the positive. So we're gonna connect this to the battery I got set out here. Let's see if we get on. Just get her on there a little bit. All right, go ahead, turn it to the on position, let it warm up.
No lights.
No lights. Oh, got a little bit of life there.
Yeah. I got lights now.
All right, so we got lights up on the dash, which is more than we had before. Got the gauges moving. I see them up there.
Ready?
All right, we're gonna see if this thing will turn over. Just turn it over. Don't let it start if it's gonna turn to start. All right, so now it's spinning over. That's good. So let's see if you can see the flywheel here. Go ahead. All right. So I don't know how old the fuel is in here. I don't know if he's tried to put fuel in it since then. We might try to prime it up, see if it's gonna fire over. So let me go ahead and prime this bulb here. I can feel the fuel go into the engine, go till I get a little more pressure. We'll see if we can get this thing to fire over. All right, go ahead and start it. Looky there. She's running. Not well, but she's running. That's a start.
I think we'll leave it right there, huh?
So we're gonna keep it right there until we can get some tires on it, and we might go ahead and install that fuel tank on the top. But I think she's gonna work for us here. So we'll check back in with you whenever we start putting the tires on.
Hey folks, you can see me working on these tires right here. The guys had already left. They had to pull off, go do another little project. And I'd got in a little bit early before it got dark, and thought I'd try to go down there and see if I could get. I should have got a machine down there to help me pick them things up. Them old tires, I don't know, they weigh 200 some pounds probably. I don't know what they weigh, but they're bears. I was trying to prime on there with a little old shovel and a pry bar and everything. I just kept wrestling with it. Finally I got it, but I tell you what, them old tires about whipped me. They about whipped this old man, but we got her, and got them on the other side over there. We're going to put some new tires on it if we get this thing going. We got a lot of work still on this thing. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and Weston, he'll be back in here in just a little bit.
Hey folks, back here with the Bobcat. We've got everything tucked away on this engine compartment. Got the battery installed, got the starter installed, all the wires tucked away. We put fresh fuses in it just to, you know, cover our tails a little bit. Don't have to get back in here. As you saw yesterday, Dad put these tires on here. And let's just say it's a two-man job. So a little frustrating by yourself, I understand. So to keep it PG, we might not have some of that footage available. So we're going to close this thing up, fire it up, and see if it moves under its own power. And then after that, whenever we get back to it, we will address the fuel situation. It should run for about 30 minutes by itself, but we will have to put an auxiliary fuel tank in it. So I'm going to jump in here, see if we can get it started.
Folks, you can see Weston here. He got that tractor cranked right there. That thing cranked up. Sounds good. But as soon as we got that thing cranked up, put that cage back down, hydraulic fluid just pouring out of it. We busted a line, main hydraulic line. Had to go up to town to get that put on it. They got that. We thought it was in good shape. Weston here, I don't know if you'll see here in a minute. We tried to move it, but the emergency brakes or the brake system on that thing is electric. And it would not disengage. We tried everything, you know, instead of getting into it, and we did get into it. We didn't film it because it was a fiasco task. We might get into that a little bit later, but anyhow, we got it going. Got the thing moved. Got it moved up there on the yard. We plan to put this fuel system deal on it. It's not going to look like much, but what we're going to use this for is kind of an old yard dog. Just, you know, if something there at the yard needs to be moved or loaded up, one of the other machines out on the job or something like that. Like Weston said, this thing don't have no hours on it. I found this thing in a barn about 10 years ago. I think it had about 350 hours on it. Been sitting for about 7 or 8 years. And I don't know, it could have been a good find. It could have been a curse. I think I've replaced every hydraulic line on it and every seal in it, because when they sit like that, they just dry out. Every job you take it out on, you just hydraulic fluid just pour out of it. But that's a whole nother story. But we hope you enjoy these videos and get a little bit of entertainment out of it. If you like these videos, how about hitting that like button? And if you're not subscribed, subscribe for us, and we'll see if we can keep putting out some more videos. Hope everybody's having a good day, and we'll see you guys on the next one.